I'm going to give you some tips on how to use your bead string just like this to help students with their skip counting. Now the activity itself is simple. Just give students some different numbers to skip count by. Let's say we start by skip counting by 2s. And their job is just to move that amount across their bead string each time and then record that skip counting sequence going down vertically like this. Now the reason I really like my students to write their skip counting patterns vertically is because it definitely helps us spot any patterns that are going on. So you can see, even though I've just stopped at 20 here, you can really see straight away how easy it is to spot this repeating pattern of, in our ones column, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. And so again, I could do the same thing with my 5s, starting at 0. And this time I want to be able to grab 5 each time. And we really want to get our students to focus on subitising that amount, so being able to recognise that as 5 and do that in one clean step, as opposed to having to count by ones by going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because we really want them to thinking about how the structure of those numbers and how they fit together. So for example, now I know that I can just grab straight from here because I know that 5 and 5 makes 10. And so I know my next one's going to be 10. 35. And again, you can see with the vertical pattern how clearly it shows what's actually happening, that we've got in the ones place, we've got that 0 and 5 that repeat each time, and then that every second number is our next complete 10 because 2 5s are going to make that next 10. And so once students have these skip counting patterns, that's where you can bring them down to the floor, put them up on your whiteboard or whatever, and really talk about and get students to notice what patterns do they notice and how can we use those patterns to help us become more fluent with our skip counting. So for one last example, let's say we were having to skip count by 9s, starting at 0. Well, again, I want to grab 9 knowing that 9 is just 1 less than 10, so I don't need to count those by ones. I can simply just know that if I've got one bead left, I've got 9. So then I've got 9. And then as I take my next 9, I get to 18. And so again, by doing this, by skip counting by 9s using the bead string, it really helps you visually see what's actually happening with this pattern. Why in the ones column are my numbers decreasing by 1, while my tens column are increasing by 110 each time. Because you can visually see and map what's happening as you go and do it. So go and give this a go and let me know if it did make a difference for you having your students write those skip counting patterns vertically. All right, your turn. Go math it up.